The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everyone. This is Pam Pally with Focus IT, and today is the first call of a three-part series we're doing in the month of January to show some helpful hints to our users regarding the point application. I'm really excited to have everyone join me for this call. We're going to be starting the call here in just a few minutes. We want to give everyone a chance to get logged in. So again, this is the first call of our three-part call series for the month of January, and it's involving helpful hints regarding your point application. We'll be starting here shortly. Thank you. Hi, everyone. This is Pam Padley with Focus IT, and this is our first call of a three-part call series we're going to be doing in the month of January, just so that we wanted the opportunity to share some helpful tips regarding the point application with our users. We're really excited to do these series of calls, and we hope that each person on the call walks away learning something new. We're going to be starting these calls in just a couple minutes. We want to give everyone a chance to get logged in. So again, thank you for taking time out of your busy day. We'll be starting here in just a few minutes. Okay, everyone, let's go ahead and get started. Again, for everyone who's just recently joined the call, my name is Pam Padley, and I'll be hosting this three-part training series for you in the month of January. We decided to do this training series because in the 7 years that I've been doing Point Central deployments here at Focus IT, along with the last 4.5 years supporting our Pulse CRM product, I've learned along the way that a lot of customers didn't know a lot of the shortcut features that are available in the Point application. I see that a lot of customers do things with requiring more mouse clicks than what's necessary to get the job done. And because I've had the opportunity over the years to share those helpful hints with our Pulse users, we wanted to open it up to make these helpful hints available to all of our clients, our users using Point Central. So I know that we asked everyone to allot an hour for the call, but they probably will only be about 30 minutes. And everyone, there is a question box available in the GoToMeeting. And at the end of the call, I will read through the questions and answer them to the best of my ability. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So we're going to start a very simple process. Did everyone know that within the Point system, you have the ability, several different ways to start a new file? I've watched customers when they're ready to start a new file to go up to File and click on New, go to Loans, and go to Borrower. That's quite a few steps, more steps than I'd want to do. Did you know that there is a simple little icon up here in the corner that if you click on it, it'll bring up and save a couple of those mouse clicks and take you and ask you, do you want to create a new prospect or a borrower? But even much shorter than that, all you have to do is to be in the folder in which you want to create the new loan in, and simply come over to this wonderful little toolbar over here on the right and click on New. When you do, you're bypassing all those other steps. I'm able to get to where I want to go in one single mouse click. Now that I've clicked on New, I can come over and I can choose from my Borrower Master template. I can come down and click OK, and it will open me up a whole new loan. Now, we're going to talk about those master templates, I believe, in our third call. I've got some fun things to share on that with you. But for now, that is as easy as simple as it is to be able to create a new file inside the Point system. Just 2, 3 little clicks versus 4, 5, 6, 7 little clicks. Come over here, click on New, choose your Borrower Master template, click OK, and you're up and running and ready to go. Start keying that data for that new lead. Okay. I've also noticed over the years that my customers will come and they will select a loan, and they will come up here and they will click on File and they will go to Open. So actually open that loan. I've also seen some of my customers come over and click on this icon to actually open their loan. But you also have this wonderful little Open button over here that you can click on. Personally, too complicated for me. I don't want to do any of that. The easiest way to open a record inside Point is simply to double click on it. When you do, it will actually open the file for you. It's really as simple as that. You can also, from the menu bar over here, you can also select a file and you can click on Copy if you have rights within your system to copy a loan. You can come over here and you can choose what folder you want to copy the loan to. So right now I'm in the processing folder. Let's say if I was in the leads folder, I could copy a lead to my leads folder, or I could copy a loan to my processing folder. You can actually copy a loan right into the same folder where it is. You can set it up for to copy to the borrower side or to the prospect side. And of course, depending on what your settings are down here will depend on how it's going to handle the file name. For me right now, basically mine's manual because this is my demo site. But the most important thing that I wanted to show you in this copy window, everyone, is this little checkbox down here that gets totally ignored all of the time. And no one really realizes it's there. How many times or how much time have you had to waste when you copied a loan to go back in and remove all of the garbage from the old loan and the new loan so that you can move forward? Did you know by simply checking this little box right down here that you can copy only the 1003 data from the old loan to the new loan? It's going to leave everything else behind. It's going to leave the old credit reports, documents, conversation log, statuses, history, all of that will get left behind. So it will simply copy the new 1003 data, put it into the new loan, and let you move forward with it. That's much more of a cleaner copy than it is to not have that box checked and copy the entire loan and then have to waste your valuable time by going back in and cleaning that loan up. The move button, again, is just as simple. You can select move, but let me share a little trick with you. If you select move and you tell it that you want to move a loan from into the same folder, from the same folder into the same folder, did you know that you could actually do that? You could simply leave it set to the same folder, click on OK, and say yes. And then what it's going to do is it's going to ask you to give it a new file name. Did you know that this is a way that you could rename a file? Let me do that for you again, everyone. If you have a loan and you want to rename it, you can actually rename it by simply clicking on Move. Tell it you want to move it from the processing folder to the processing folder. Simply come down and click on OK and say yes. And when you do, it actually opens up the wonderful rename file window that kind of gets a little hidden, and it actually allows you to rename that file. So I can simply put here demo testing, and I can say OK. And now you'll notice that my file is no longer over here, because if I scroll down on my screen, it's now down toward the bottom, and it's now called demo testing. Whoops, I need to click on search again. We know we have to refresh that screen. So anyways, it will show at the bottom. You have the ability to rename them that way. And keep in mind, I'm on my demo site, so it's a little quirky, but it will rename it for you that way. Excuse me. You also have the ability to actually come into the system, and here's my file, and it renamed it, moved it to the top. You also have the ability to come into the system and delete a loan from here if you've been given delete rights. So this is a nice little toolbar. Let's go ahead and let's open up the one that I renamed, and let's talk about some of the other features that are available. Once you have it open, what I've noticed is a lot of my customers, when they've made changes to a file, let's just go ahead and enter a middle initial, they will come up here and they will go to File and they will click on Save. That's 2 mouse clicks. That's not too bad. Some of them know that there's a save icon up here, and they'll come up and they'll just simply click on the save icon. That's not too bad either. But then once you click Save, then you've got to click Close. Well, I like to do it all in one step. So what I do within the system to save and close a file, I simply come up here in the corner and I click the X to close the file. If a change has been made in a file, when you go to close it, you're always going to get this little warning screen that's going to pop up and ask you if you want to save your changes. At this time, you can say yes, and you can save your changes, and at the same time, it closes your file. So that way, it handles all the changes in just a couple mouse clicks versus many mouse clicks. So it's just another little simple shortcut that we wanted to share with you. So when you make a change to the file, if you haven't made a change to the file and you click on X to close it, it's simply going to close it. If you've made changes to it, it will pop up that little screen and ask you if you want to save your changes. Now, the printer is a wonderful feature. You have the ability to come up here and click on Print. And when you do, it's going to open up your print window. And from the print window, you can come in and you can select certain forms to be printed, or you can come over here to the print groups and you can select a print group, or you can come over here and select from any of your custom forms. Most of the time, I'm hoping that you also, but most of my customers have taken the time to go in and set up a print group for each of the different groupings of forms that they would need, so that they don't have to go here to the form screen and keep selecting them. All you have to do is jump over to the print group and select the simple group. We're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the print screen a little bit more later on this month in another call. So I'm going to get out of this, because if I don't, I'll be here for hours walking you through some really cool things. So we'll talk about this on another call. You also have the ability to come up here and click on this wonderful little icon that actually is going to ask you, do you want to email your point data file, or do you want to email a form? Now, this is really nice. I love the ability to be able to email. And I know a lot of my customers that have contract processors that aren't on their Point Central system, things like that, you need sometimes to actually be able to email your point file to someone else. To be able to do that, you can come up and you can click on email, okay, and we'll go ahead and we'll say yes, and it'll bring it up. The first thing it's going to ask you to do is always password protect it. Point hasn't done this to annoy you, I promise. They've done this to keep you in compliance with the federal law. Anytime you email confidential information, it needs to be password protected. So they are going to ask you to password protect it. So we're just going to put 1234 for the sake of this. Once that's done, I actually have the ability to click on send to and enter an email address and email it. But I also have this wonderful little button over here that kind of gets overlooked sometimes, where I can actually save it as a PCF file. So let's say that I had maybe 3 or 4 files that I needed to give a copy to someone outside our Point system. I could actually come in and I could save them as a PCF on my local computer. Then I could zip up that folder and send them all at one time versus sending them individually. And of course, when you click send to, it's going to go ahead and it's going to launch an email window based on your email provider. And it's going to go ahead and show you the attachment for the PCF. On the other end, when they get this email, all they have to do is make sure they have Point open. If they have Point open and they double click on this attachment, it will walk them through importing that file into their system. So it does it really nice, and it's very simple to do, and it's simply coming up and choosing this icon. The other thing about this, other thing you can do under this icon is email a form. Now, I know if you go to print and you come in and you select a form, you have the ability to come down here, and we're going to jump out of this. And I'm going to click on print, and you'll know by default the output option here is always print. But you'll also notice that there's other options to choose from in case you've never looked. Well, by simply clicking here and do email form, it's bringing up the same window, but it's changing the output option to email as a PDF. Now, I could do this from the other window by selecting it myself. It's really up to you, but it is a nice little extra little bonus there. So you can actually come in, because from the print screen, you can print preview, you can email it, save it as a PDF, and of course, you have other options down here. I'm not going to be able to help you with store or ink it. I've never gotten into that before when I use the system. So unfortunately, I'll have to defer you to Calyx support on those. The next couple items here, these are pretty standard that everyone should be used to using if you're used to using a computer. You have the ability to cut data, you have the ability to paste data, and you have the ability to copy data. So I'm going to copy my field, then I'm going to cut my field. So if I come up, I can click on copy, and then I can come over here and cut it, and then I can come back here and paste it. So basically, within the Point system, it allows you to copy and paste information from one field to the next. I have to admit, everyone, I'm so used to highlighting stuff and either doing right-click and copy and paste, but I'm also one of those keyboard people. I'm kind of old school. I'll copy what I want, and I'll do Control-C for copy, and I'll come down and I'll do Control-V for paste. In case no one caught that, you have keystrokes you can use on your keyboard for copying and paste. You can actually highlight what you want to copy and hit Control and C, the letter C for copy, and then you can go to where you want to paste it to, hit Control and V, and it will actually paste it for you. So Control C to copy and Control V to paste. Don't ask me why it's not Control P, but it's nice that it's V because it puts them right next to each other, and I don't have to, I can do it all with a single hand. So Control C to copy and Control V to paste. So these do the same thing. Now, I'll be real honest. Maybe someone knows something I don't know, but I guess if you were on a different screen and you wanted to see your ratios, you can bring up your ratio box. So that's all this is it's going to display the ratios that you're normally used to seeing here on the bearer information page in a little pop-up window. I have to be honest, I've never really used that. Another thing that I want to talk about, and I'm going to circle back around to it, and that's the conversation log. I personally love the conversation log. So we'll circle back around with that, and I'll talk about it later. I'm going to come back to this in a moment because it won't do me any good to show task if I don't show you how to set up task. Let's go ahead, and of course from here you can pop up the calculator. Now look, That simple link launches your Windows calculator. Everyone's used to seeing this one. It's not a point-specific calculator. It's your standard calculator that comes with Windows. So it just pops it right up for you. You don't have to go down and look for it. But personally, I always keep mine pinned to the nav bar at the bottom because you never know in our industry when you're going to want a quick calculator. But you also have it up here. Now, the Rolodex. The Rolodex is an awesome feature. To really show you how great the Rolodex is, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go to the Track Agent List screen. Okay? Now, this is something that we share with all of our customers using our Pulse CRM because we bring all of the contacts from Point over into our Pulse system so that they can be set up for automated emails, for status updates and marketing emails and things like that. So because we do that and because we have a wonderful pipeline view that can be custom built in our application, we want to make sure that when the realtors and the title companies and the appraisers, when all this information is filled in, we want to make sure of two things. Number one, for the same company, we want to make sure the information is entered identical for each record, as well as we want to make sure the required fields are entered. So what I've discovered helping my clients out is that a lot of people don't complete the information here, or they get tired of typing it in over and over again. And of course, it ends up being different variances of their names and things like that. And we're all human and we do typo errors. But just in case you didn't know, when you're on the Track Agent List screen, you're going to see that there's certain fields like contact that has a little circle and a line under it. You'll see that it's over here. You'll see it's over here under company. Whenever you see a field with this little icon, it means it's tied to your Cardex. What do I mean by that? Well, it's really quite simple. If you come over here and you click in the window, okay, and you come up here and you click on your Rolodex icon, what it's going to do is it's going to open up your Cardex. I'm hoping my demo site has a few. It does. Now what it's going to do is it's going to allow me to select my realtor right from my Cardex, select them in the list, and come over here and click on select. And when I do, it's going to fill in my information. I don't have to retype it. So that means that I can actually pull this information down each time I need it directly from my Cardex. My Cardex will be one location, stored electronically, shared out throughout all of my files. I'll be guaranteed that all the required fields I need are filled in and the information is identical from record to record. So this makes it really nice by utilizing that Cardex. Now, a lot of you go, I didn't know I could do that with the Cardex. That's really cool. So, well, I'm going to have to go in and set them all up. Well, did you also know that if you're inside of a record and you click on it and you have the information already filled out and you come up and you click on your Rolodex, that will open up this wonderful little window that you may or may not have seen before and thought something was broke? Well, it's really not, everyone. What it's doing is it's giving you an option to either add this as a new record to your Cardex so you don't have to retype the information, or skip it and just directly open up your Cardex or cancel the window. So if I click on New Record, it's going to take all of my information over here and it's actually going to create it, add it for me to the Cardex. I don't have to retype it. I'm going to look for any quick typos. Once I see that everything's fine, I'm simply going to save and close. Now I have a whole new record in my Cardex and I didn't have to retype a thing. Isn't that a great way to go in and rebuild that Cardex? So that way I can pull the information down, and if it's an older record, I can copy it right up and then use it on my new files going forward. And what's nice about the Cardex is I tell my customers, I said, what you want to do is you want to think outside the Cardex, okay? What I mean by that is when I used Point, and I was a processor, I used my Cardex to store all of my information electronically, information I needed access to, and also information that I wanted to make sure that my loan officers used and that they had the most updated information. How many times do you get notices from lenders? Half the people get it, half the people don't. You have information stored in 6 different places, so when there's a change, you got to go change it in 6 different places. That's way too much for me. I love shortcuts. Okay, so I tell my customers, what's really nice about the Cardex is inside the Cardex, I set up all of my lenders. So I went in and I added a record for each one of my lenders. And after I added their contact information here, I utilized the note section. And in the note section, this is where I put their junk fees, I put their mortgagee clause, I put their underwriting guidelines above and beyond the standard Fannie Freddie guidelines. I could put special notes regarding certain niches that they had or anything along those lines. I think you get the idea. So basically, when someone wanted information on a lender, they didn't have to go to a lender site. They didn't have to go anywhere. They knew that the information was being maintained, and they could see the most recent information by simply going to Point, which they already have open up their Cardex, which is a single mouse click, find the lender, open the lender, and all the notes would be right here. The only thing you want to be really careful with, everyone, is copying and pasting. You can copy and paste into these notes here, but I'm finding a lot of my customers are wanting to copy and paste into the conversation log, and that's definitely causing some data corruption because you don't realize when you copy and paste that you're picking up binary code that you can't see. But you can copy and paste lender information in here, and I've found that this hasn't corrupted anything at all. So the Cardex is a wonderful tool. It gives you so many ways to do those wonderful little shortcuts, and it allows you to be able to keep your data electronically in one location. You only have to maintain it and update it in one location and be guaranteed when it gets applied to a loan, everyone's using the same information. So I love the Cardex, can't you tell? And of course, you have the ability to create yourself tasks. So you can come in and you can create a task. So I'm just going to do one here for demo testing. You can come down and you can assign it to different users within your company. You can give it a due date. So I can give it a due date of tomorrow. Okay. And you can come down and make comments regarding that task, and you can simply save it. Once you have that entered and you have it saved, each day when you open up Point, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come over and you're going to want to click on this icon right here that says Show Task. Now, you do have the ability to come down here and click on the task option, and we'll open up the task window, and you can see it from here. And you can do that. You can see all your tasks at one time. But, of course, you know me. I love my shortcuts. So, basically, I'm going to come up here and click on this task icon because it's going to open this wonderful little task window for me. So, from here, I can actually see my task. I can create new. I can open it. I can delete it. I can print it. I have it all right here. So, it's right there at my fingertips with just a simple mouse click. And then, of course, you have the ability to upload documents. Uploading documents to Point is a wonderful feature, everyone. So many people don't use this, and so many of my clients use it for everything. I see it from one extreme to the other. If you've never noticed it before, if you order a credit report, if you run DU or LP through Point, the results of that credit report and everything is actually stored in the document management site. You have the ability to come up here and click on Add. You can upload documents from the computer, or you can upload into document storage a pre-filled in Point form. So if you wanted to have your 1003 in, you don't have to print your 1003 to a PDF and then turn around and upload it to document storage so that you have it here to send off to, zip it up with other files to send to a lender. You can actually add it from here. Play around with document storage. It's a great feature. If you aren't comfortable with it, reach out to Calyx. I'm sure they've got some great training videos on that. So with all that said, which one of these over here did I skip over? Oh, well, wait a minute. Don't forget about the question mark. The question mark is a good one too, everyone. No matter what page you're on, in this case, I'm on Tracking Agent. If you come up here and click on the question mark, did you know it actually takes you directly to the help screen inside their help system and Point to the screen that you're on? You didn't have to come over here and click on help and then open up the help window and then search for the tracking agent. You can actually, no matter what screen you're on, if you need help with that screen, come up here and click this wonderful little help icon, and it will open it up right to that section of the help that you need, and hopefully you can find the answers you're looking for, which is a neat little shortcut. Don't you think, everyone? Gets you right where you want to go. And then, of course, my favorite, the conversation log. The conversation log, to me, is a wonderful tool. We really encourage the use of it through our Pulse CRM. What I like about the conversation log is you're actually able to come in and anyone can make an entry to the conversation log. So you can come in and you can put the notes after you get off the phone with the borrower. You can put notes in here where you've spoke to the loan officer today, requested that they reach out to the borrower to obtain the current W-2. You can put it in here, you can click OK, and you can document it, and you can go back, and the history is all recorded for you right here in the conversation log. The problem that a lot of my customers are having with the conversation log is they want to use this in place of storing emails. That's dangerous. Okay, so what I'm finding with a lot of my customers that are ending up with their point files ultimately getting corrupted is that they're opening up, they're clicking on add, and what they're doing is they're copying an email and they're pasting it in here. What you see here from this window is normal text. What you don't realize that's also getting copied that you can't see behind the scenes is binary code. And the binary code is causing files to implode and to get corrupted. So please be very careful if you're copying and pasting emails in here. You can long-term corrupt your data, and I hate to see that happen. But as you can tell, there's a lot of great options for the conversation log. It works well. One of the features that we offer with our Pulse CRM that I love is we've actually turned the conversation log into a true communication tool. What do I mean by that? Well, within our Pulse CRM, what we did is we actually created a feature, and it's called the conversation log. And what it does is it actually allows our customers to say whenever there's an entry made into the conversation log, take that entry and email it to selected users within their company. So most of the time, the conversation log, when it's enabled, usually is to send the information to the loan officer or to the processor. Now, if the processor made the entry to the conversation log, it would only email the loan officer. If the loan officer made it, it would only email the processor. If the closer made it, it's going to email both the loan officer and the processor. Hence, we turn Point and the conversation log into a true communication tool. So we took it above and beyond. So you can tell I really like this feature, and Point did a really nice job with it. Okay. The last thing that I want to show everyone before I start to look at the questions being posted is I'd like to talk about your menu bar over here. How many times do you spend scrolling up and down looking for the forms that you want? Did you know that this can be customized over here? Now, don't get too excited. It's limited to what can be done, but some customization is available to you. Up under Utilities, there's this option here that says Customize Shortcut Toolbar. Okay, a lot of people see this and they don't realize that the shortcut toolbar that it's referring to is your menu bar over here on the left-hand side of the screen. So you'll notice that this is matching this by default, okay? But you do have the ability to come over here and you can actually click on Sort List and it'll put it alphabetically. I can do Load Default and it'll put it back to the way it is. Those are two simple little tricks. One of the two most common things that my customers use, they don't have time to go out here, select what form they want and move it to the top, or select something and move it up a couple places, or select something and move it down a couple places. They don't have time to come in here and figure out which ones they want. Okay, they're busy, they have loans to process, loans to originate, no problem at all. Did you know within this screen here you can check this little magical box? Most people don't even realize it's there. Basically, it's called a smart list. And what it does is if you check this box, Point pays attention to the screens that you go into. And as you go into the screens, what it does is it takes the most recently accessed screens and it moves them to the top of the list automatically for you. So by checking this box, okay, so I'm going to go back to Load Defaults. By checking this box and clicking OK, if I come over here and I'm constantly using, let's say, the pre-qual screen, and I'm in and out of it, you'll notice that immediately it moves the pre-qual screen all the way to the top of my list. So I didn't have to do it. Point does it for me, which is kind of nice, and that works for some of my clients. Personally, my OCD won't let me do it, to be honest, everyone. It drives me nuts because when I go to the next one, it's going to move that there and now pre-qual second. If I go to page 4 of the 1003, whoops, sorry about that. If I go to page 4 of the 1003, it's going to turn around and move that up. Then I don't have things in order. My OCD can't handle that. So my favorite part about it is just taking a few minutes, coming down to Customize Shortcut Toolbar, coming in here, looking at the way things are defaulted, not checking this box, and simply finding the borrower information page is always going to be your first one. You're always going to want all pages of the 1003. Now what you're going to do is you're going to come down and you're going to start finding the ones that you use most, let's say like loan estimate, and you're simply going to select them and move them up and place them in the order that you want. So you'll keep selecting things and you'll move them up, get them in the order that you want, and then when you click OK, your toolbar over here will have them in the order that you want them, and they will remain in this order. okay, and they won't keep shuffling, can't handle shuffling. So it's just a nice way to make you more efficient. Don't you agree, everyone? You don't have to go looking for that. You can move all your favorites to the top, let everything else push to the bottom. It's really that simple. Also, I've noticed for a lot of my customers that they utilize this information bar over here, but what they didn't realize is that this simple little X up here will allow them to close this window and open it. Some people didn't know that they could do it. You can also do that over here. You can close your nav bar, and it will do your shortcuts over here, as well as you can click on it and open it right back up again. Okay, so that's the sum of what I wanted to show you today on the call, was just those wonderful little shortcut things that I've learned over time using the system. Hopefully they still all apply. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of the questions or some other helpful hints people want to share. Someone said, did you know that you can hit Control P for print? That's a pretty cool idea. I know I could do that in other applications. I'll be very honest, I've never tried it in Point. So we'll open up a file, I'll hit Control P, and there you go. It's up and it's done. I think, thank you for sharing that with us. I think that's a great little shortcut, and I'm sure someone will appreciate that and utilize it. The next question is, I've noticed that the license number for realtors and brokers does not carry over to the page, even though it is saved in the Cardex. Is there a fix for that? Ooh, no, not that I know of. I hate to say this, but reach out to Calyx and let them know. Hopefully they already know and someone else has spoken up about it, and see what they're going to do to fix it. But unfortunately, I don't work for Calyx, and I don't have any inside track. So I can't help you on that, and I don't know a workaround. The next question is, can you upload and download to the Cardex from a CVS? Yes, you can. If we come into Cardex and we open it up, if you come up here to File, you'll see that there's this wonderful little option called Import. When you click on Import, it'll say Import from another Cardex, Import from a Comma Delimited, or Import from your Outlook and Contacts. So yes, you can import into the Cardex, and yes, you can definitely export from the Cardex. I have my customers doing that all the time when we're bringing them from Point Conventional to Point Central. So I will tell them to go in and go to File, and if you do an export, this is going to go to the CVS. This one here will go to the file format necessary to import into Point Central. So yes, you definitely have those options, and it does work quite well. I will have customers where I cannot import their file into Point Central for them. So I will come in on occasion and export it to a CVS, open it in Excel, and find where the corruption is in their file, so then I can repair the corruption, which will allow me to re-import. We'll import their file. I'll do a quick look. If it's something simple, I'll fix it. Otherwise, if it's not, just in case you didn't know, everyone, you can send your Cardex to Calyx, and they have a tool that will actually go in and repair any corruption in your Cardex and make it importable for you. Are we going to get a recording copy of the training? Absolutely, we are. I am recording the training. I'll be uploading this training call to my YouTube site, and I will be sending a link out to everyone who has signed up for today's call, and I will be sure to include you in the next two recordings also. Wow, we can email the conversation log. Sorry, can you explain how we are able to utilize this feature? What is Pulse? Well, Pulse is our CRM application that we've written and developed here at Focus IT. Pulse interfaces directly to the Point system. We actually read your Point files, and we bring your Point data from Point over into Pulse. We bring approximately 5,000 fields from Point over into Pulse, and we allow you to do some really awesome things inside the Point, inside our Pulse application. I did a three-part training call on Pulse in the month of December, and I will include in the email that I'm sending out to everyone links to those training calls so that you can play back a couple of those videos and see all the wonderful features that our CRM has to offer. And of course, what's nice about it is it does a direct interface with Point. We can read your files as well as you can write to your files directly from our Pulse application. Let's see what our next question is. Is the smart list for individuals, or does checking this affect the entire company? Ooh, that's a really good question. I believe from when I used it, it was at individual level, because even when you customize that bar, it's at each individual user level. It's stored under your user profile. I don't believe Point ever made that global for the company. Don't hold me to that. I'm not 100% positive that I'm right. I'm about 96% positive. But you can reach out to them or just run your test on your own. But I believe it's user specific. Show how to fill out the anti-steering disclosure. I don't get into actually showing you how to use the point system. I'm just here to show you some of the helpful shortcuts and things that we have. I'll be honest, I've never worked with the anti-steering disclosure, the most recent copy. I wouldn't be a good source to help you on that, but I'm sure Calyx support would be more than happy to help you. Can we upload multiple documents at the same time to the document screen instead of uploading them one at a time? Oh, that's a good question. No one ever asked me that before, but I don't think when you go out and you select, if you click on one and you hold down your control key, just like you do on other things, it allows you to select multiples. And if you click on open, it's going to come back and say, oh, I selected the wrong type of file, didn't I? So it's going to come back and yell at me. I wasn't paying attention to the file type, but yes, you should be able to, so long as you pay attention to your file types, and I didn't, you should be able to hold down the control key and select multiple files at the same time. Yeah, you should be able to do that. Also, if you're moving documents up and down for convenience, does it move it for the entire company or just your account? As I said, I believe it's strictly just your profile. It's not going to affect the entire company. So each individual user, when they log into the Point system, has the option to customize that shortcut bar to your requirements, not to the company. We were always wanting a company default on that, and they never came up with it. Next question, can you change the columns in the loan search screen? No. That is the reason why so many people actually love our Pulse system, because within our Pulse system, we actually give you the ability to come in and create your own pipeline view. You actually have the ability to come into Pulse, come down to Manage Views, and we actually allow you to create many different pipeline views based on the data fields that you want to see, not the ones that are dictated to you here in the search screen inside of the Point system. Here you can't make changes, and this used to drive me nuts. So as a loan officer and processor, it forced me to maintain information on an Excel spreadsheet, which in turn was a nightmare. As a processor, I would spend 2 hours on Friday updating it so I could provide it to the loan officers and to management. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm a firm believer. If I have my information stored electronically in one source, I shouldn't have to rekey it again. So with that said, I've had the privilege of heading up the Pulse department here at Focus IT, working with a great team, and I have a wonderful owner who has a wonderful vision for the application. And what we came up with was the ability for our clients to create their own custom pipeline views. So they actually have the ability to come in and create many different views, and within those views, they can choose what fields they want to see. Again, we bring approximately 5,000 fields from Point over into Pulse, giving our customers lots of options to creating these wonderful pipeline views and filtering that data. But it's not possible in Point. I'm so sorry. Let's see, I just copied each license before going into the Cardex and pasting it. Oh, someone says I just copy each of the license before going into the Cardex and pasting it. So basically, they're just kind of doing a shortcut by doing a copy and paste since it's not auto-feeding. That's a really nice, helpful hint. Thank you. Can you provide help on how to set up data folders? Okay, setting up data folders isn't done inside Point. That's done inside Point Central. We've been talking whether I'll do a couple calls on Point Central and how to perform certain things in there. We haven't decided whether we're going to do that yet or not, but let me ask you to please call our support line. Our support line, we have wonderful techs, and they can help you set up that data folder. And our support line for everyone is 480-346-1299, option 1. Again, that number is 480-346-1299, option 1, and any one of our techs will be more than happy to help you create that folder. Customizing the shortcut toolbar, if you do it once, Will it carry over to every loan in your pipeline from then on? Yes. Once you set up the shortcut toolbar, it's not tied at the loan level. It's tied at your login. So when you log out and you log back in, you'll have the same shortcut order, and it will remain there no matter what loan you go into. Great question. Didn't even think about that. Hello, can you drag and drop numerous files into document management? You know, you can't. They haven't come up with the drag and drop technology into their document management system yet, unfortunately. So no, I'm afraid the answer to that is you can't. You actually have to click the add button and you have to go find them. I know, a little bit of a bummer. But it's still a nice feature, and it allows you to keep everything in one location, which is what makes it really nice. These have been some awesome questions. I love it. Yes, you can drop and drag. You can do it from your folder or desk. Oh, I got corrected. Someone said it is possible. I didn't know it was. This is what I love about this call, is everyone being able to share their knowledge with each other. This is great, everyone. Thank you so much. So yes, I was wrong. And hey, I don't mind being wrong at all, everyone. So they're saying that you can actually open up document storage, go and locate your file in your Explorer. So let's see if I can find a document real quick on my desktop. And you should be able to take that document and drag it in. Add to the active loan, say yes. And let's see if it's going to upload it. Wow, that's pretty awesome, everyone. I love it when I learn something new. This is great. I did not know you could do that. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing that and letting us know that it was possible. I downloaded Point to a new PC and my custom forms are blank. Oh, you're going to want to reach out to customer service on that. Your custom forms shouldn't be blank. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, reach out to customer service. I don't have a quick answer for you on that, but they should be able to help you with that. It's a huge time saver. Yes, it is. For dragging and dropping those forms, it sure is, and I'm thrilled to know it now. You can't if you are on a remote computer. Okay, so it's a little bit of a limitation, but for some it will work, and you may be restricted depending on how you're accessing the Point system. So just keep that in mind, everyone. But yes, that would be an actual huge time saver to be able to drag and drop those documents, especially since that's the way we do it with every other application we're in. Wow, this has been great, everyone. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed this call and being able to share those things with you. So these were the shortcuts, or the things that I knew off the top of my head that I've learned over the years and been able to share. So we have just a few minutes left on this call. I guess I'm going to go close to the full hour. Does anyone else have a helpful hint that you would like to share real quick that I missed and didn't even know about? Probably not at this point. But if you think of any, please feel free to email me and let me know, and I'll be more than happy to pass that along with the recordings and everything to the rest of the team. Or if you think of any, jot them down, and then we can share them at the beginning of the call on our next call and let everyone know that we came up with some other shortcuts and time savers. All right? Wonderful, everyone. You have been such a great group. I can't thank you enough for joining me and taking time out of your busy day, and I look forward to you attending my second call that we're going to do. On the second call, we're going to talk about how to find those field ID numbers, and a lot of people don't even know that you can set up custom screens inside Point, and we're going to talk about those print groups and how to build them out. So I'm going to look forward to having everyone join me on my next call, which is scheduled for January 23rd. The store function in the Point output dropdown will put Point forms into the document management. Oh, is that what that's for? Okay, very cool. So I didn't even know that. So we have another option. So that store option that I told you that I didn't know about, what they're talking about is, remember when I went to the print group and I said that I didn't know what store was? I know what Inket is, but I didn't know what store was. Store is actually, instead of printing it or previewing it or emailing it, this actually puts it directly to document storage for you. And I didn't even know that that's what it did. That's a new feature they've added since I've actually been a user of the point system. So again, another wonderful shortcut, a great helpful hint. You want to be able to store those documents so that you can pick your documents and zip them up and send them to a lender. So that's a wonderful feature to know. Thank you so much for sharing it. Okay, everyone, we're going to go ahead and we're going to end the call for today. You've been a wonderful group. I look forward to having you join me on January 23rd and sharing our ideas again. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye.